Hey guys, and welcome to a very informal Prestige tutorial for Skilltree. So I'm going to talk you through how the Prestige system works in Skilltree and how you can do some pretty cool shit with it. So this is just a skeletal design I've done up just using some of my plugins. The skills are transferable and you can kind of go as far and wide as you like with it. So first things first, the Prestige system is basically when a player hits max level, you will get, the player then has the option to gain prestige, which basically resets their XP, their level, their skill points, everything back to 0, and they get a set of abilities to be able to then repeat the process. So gives the leveling grind of Skilltree some replayability, and in return the player gets perks that they otherwise wouldn't be attainable. Those perks can be as simple as just giving them loads of currency via command, or they could be permission-based perks, which are the more common ones. So there's a couple of options in the config which I'll go through after I've shown you the visual demo. By default, prestige isn't on, so players can't actually get prestige. And by default, when prestige is on, the gain prestige button isn't actually visible. Sorry, is visible, but if they don't have the level, there's no confirm button, so it just kind of shows them what they're working towards. Depending on their level, depending on the prestige level you have, it'll show you the next set of prestige buffs, not the current one. So if we go into game prestige, you'll see here these are the permissions, and these are the this is the description I've written up in the config for what the player is going to receive for getting to prestige rank 1. So the rewards here are going to be respecs now cost 10 scrap on the server at 30. Skilltree XP loss is reduced by 50%. Skilltree XP gain is increased by 50%. Skilltree starting points is set to 10 points. So basically when the player does prestige, they're going to be starting with 10 skill points as opposed to 5. And cooking ingredients chance increased by 50%. As well as the chance for crafted items to receive an enhancement, which was courtesy of the item perks plugin. So now if I give myself a billion XP, I am now level 100. Now if I click this button again, it's going to show me the confirm button. Now if I want to rank up, I can click confirm, and I have now reached prestige rank 1. Little icon and everything. So I'll just close this. Now what this is going to do is it's basically going to refresh the player. So it's going to basically remove all their data and then reinstantiate it with a new player file, as well as prestige rank 1, and assign all of the permissions from the config for prestige rank 1. And you can see the little symbol icon here, which is also customizable. I know a few people on my Discord have made their own custom ones, which are a lot cooler than mine. But now if I click the gain prestige button here, you'll see that it's going to show the perks for prestige rank 2. You can see here that the perks are a lot more juicy, and there's obviously a lot more involved for the player. So the way I kind of picture this myself is the player takes a while to get to the first rank of prestige, and then with the XP increase by 50%, the grind to rank 2 is a lot faster, but it's obviously extending it out quite significantly. So, and then obviously from rank 2 they get to 100 XP rate, 100 XP gain, and they get more points per level, so they get to unlock a lot more of the tree. So it really does extend the ability for your server to either have XP gains, or so skill trees persist between wipes like a lot of servers do, or just simply wipe them by giving them exorbitant XP gain rates. And that's all there is to it. But what I'll do is I'll just jump into my perms, and I'll show you that the perms have been applied. So you can see here, let me just go on one that actually has been applied. Oh, sorry, so it's group. I'm getting over something at the moment, sorry guys. It's group based. So if we go into the prestige groups, where is it? There it is, prestige rank 1. So you can see I've been assigned to the prestige rank 1 group. There's a config option now. If I was to go into prestige rank 2, it's going to add me to the Prestige Rank 2, but I've set it so it doesn't remove me from Prestige Rank 1, which means any buffs I get in Prestige Rank 1 will carry over and still contribute in Prestige Rank 2. If you want to wipe buffs entirely, then you'd set that option to false, so to true, where it would remove the player from the previous tiers, and that way you can set fresh buffs in each group. But if we go into the groups themselves, if I can, there we go, Prestige 1, we look at cooking, you can see that we've got the, oh, that was a mistake, we've got instant and, well, VIP is also one I had before I did the tests. Item perks, there we go. Craft, which is the only one I gave for item perks. And then we've got, not skill tree items, skill tree. So you can see no XP loss, again that's one I did before. Prestige respec 1, which is the permissions I've created within skill tree. XP 1, XP loss 1, and again VIP was one I did before. If we go to Prestige 2, you can see I've got a few here, and yep, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So basically it's just adding the previous buffs on from the previous ones. So yeah, that's really all there is to it. It's pretty simple, straightforward, but you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. So an example would be to lock certain trees behind Prestige, which I've also just simply added an option where you can actually lock skills behind Prestige as well. Actually, I'll just pause the recording and I'll do one of those up and show you what it looks like. Alright, so I've added Prestige requirements to some of my skills, just to give you an example. So you can see here when the player doesn't have the correct Prestige level, it's going to lock it behind the node, and they can't actually level it up. Now if I give myself some XP, so we give XP new maybe another billion, and again I'm level 100, so now I can go to the next level. Hit confirm. Then I Prestige Rank 2, ST, and now I can unlock these 3 nodes. And you can see my little Prestige has gone up and my Prestige button has disappeared because I've now hit max Prestige. There is actually no actual maximum. The maximum is simply as big as your config. So if you want to have like 60 levels of Prestige, then you absolutely can do that. Cool, so that's it from the visual side of things. I'll take you into the config. Alright, so the configuration side of things is obviously where all the meat and potatoes are. So I'm just going to skip through. Actually, you can have a look at some of my permission settings. So I've got permission XP1, XP2. These are just simply differentiators that I can assign to different Prestige groups, which I'll show you in just a moment. So you can create the permissions internally and then associate them with the Prestige groups. So you can give players their unlocks. So here it is. It's just broken down into this segment here. So the first things first is allow players to reset their progress and gain Prestige levels. By default, set to false, which means it's not enabled. Set it to true to enable it. Ignore the level rewards based, so bonus if the player has Prestige levels. So basically what this means is it won't give players level rewards again if you don't want them to. So for example, they obviously get reset back to level 0, and if your server has certain rewards that players get whenever they hit a certain level or a certain milestone, having this set to true means that they won't receive those rewards. Otherwise, having it set to false means they will. Remove players from the lower level Prestige groups. This is what I mentioned before around if they're in Prestige Group 1 and then they move up to Prestige Group 2. If you want them to lose access to Prestige Group 1, then set this to true. Otherwise, leave it false. Run reset commands for level rewards when players Prestige. This is basically kind of goes hand in hand with this option here. If a player obviously goes Prestige, then you can have all of their level rewards reset. So if you have any permission-based rewards in there, those reset commands are run. So it all obviously gets reset and the player can start it all over again. Show the Prestige button before the player achieves the level. So they won't be able to accept the rank until max level. So basically this is the button appearing before the player actually has max level unlocked. And this way it gives them a sneak peek of the options that they're going to be able to see. And then under here we have the actual the nuts and bolts of the permissions. and the skills. So you can see here I've broken them down into keys, and because the dictionaries are keys and values. So the key is the level. So level 1 or prestige rank 1, rank 2. You can go rank 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah 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 if you want to. And then under each of those you have a class, which is basically another dictionary of permissions, and the description of the ability or unlock. So you can see here skill tree respecs now cost 10 scrap, and it's associated with a permission I've created within skill tree which gives those values. Looking at, for example, like item perks, chance for crafted items to receive an enhancement, item perks.craft, which is just simply a permission that's given. You can also add additional benefits, and these are just lists, such as, benefit 1, benefit 2, etc. And these don't have permission. These don't have permissions tied. That's just, if you want to add stuff to the group outside of skill tree. So skill tree actually creates the group and it just remains there even if skill tree is unloaded. If you want to add your own external permissions or whatever, or if there's other plugins that care about Oxide groups, then yeah, you can add your benefit descriptions in there, which will encompass those. Because Prestige gives the option to have its own beta chat title override, so this one here will allow you to format that. So the first argument here is simply the color, which you can set the value here, and then you've got the level, which is what the prestige level is, or whatever the value is for that. So you've got rank title, which is what appears when the player levels up, and here's the icon ID, which is the little stripes that you saw, the chevrons. And then level 2 is just simply a rinse and repeat with different permissions. So nice and easy. All in all, not a really hard thing to set up. But again, you can do some really cool stuff with it, and some people on my Discord have already done some really awesome stuff. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feedback, let me know. Otherwise, enjoy.